Hello, my friends. How are you? I am Storyteller Grandpa, and I'm here to tell a wisdom story for you, my darlings. Once upon a time in the city of Medina, the prophet of God, Muhammad, peace be upon him, went to visit the house of his daughter. When he arrived, he knocked on the door. His daughter, Lady Fatimah, peace be upon her, opened the door, and they spoke. The prophet said, "My daughter, I am feeling a bit unwell." She responded, "May God protect you from all sickness." The prophet then asked, "Bring me the Yemeni cloak." Lady Fatimah fulfilled his request. A short while later, Imam Hasan, peace be upon him, entered the house and spoke with his mother, saying, "O mother, I can smell a fragrance so beautiful, like that of my grandfather, the prophet of God." She replied, "Yes, your grandfather is here." Imam Hasan entered, greeted the prophet, and asked for permission to sit beside him. The prophet returned his greeting and said, "Come near me, my son, and master of my fountain, Kauthar." After a while, Imam Husayn, peace be upon him, entered and spoke to his mother, saying, "O mother, I can smell a fragrance so sweet, like that of my grandfather, the prophet of God." She replied, "Yes, your grandfather is here with your brother." Imam Husayn entered, greeted the prophet, and asked for permission to sit with them. The prophet replied to his greeting and said, "Come near me, my son, and O intercessor for my people." Meanwhile, Ali ibn Abi Talib, peace be upon him, was walking through the streets of the city on his way home. When he arrived, he greeted his wife, Lady Fatimah, saying, "O daughter of the prophet of God, I can sense a fragrance like that of my brother and cousin, the prophet of God." Lady Fatimah replied, "Yes, O commander of the faithful, he is inside with your sons." Imam Ali, peace be upon him, entered, greeted the prophet, and asked to sit with them. The prophet replied to his greeting and said, "Come near me, O brother and my successor." Then Lady Fatimah entered, greeted her father, and asked for permission to join them. The prophet returned her greeting and said, "Come near me, my daughter and my beloved." The prophet then raised his hand towards the heavens, holding the Yemeni cloak in his other hand, and said, "O God, these are my household. They are part of me, and I am part of them. Whoever is friendly to them is a friend of mine, and whoever holds enmity towards them is my enemy. Keep them away from impurity and always keep them pure and immaculate." Then God said, "O my angels and O inhabitants of my heavens, I have not created the beautiful blue sky, the green and fertile earth, the shining moon, the bright sun, the orbiting planets, the roaring seas, and the sailing ships, except out of love for these five who are gathered under the Yemeni cloak." Then Gabriel asked God, "Who are these five individuals?" God replied, "They are Fatimah, the daughter of my last prophet, her father Muhammad, who is my prophet, her husband Ali, the commander of the faithful, her eldest son Hasan, and her younger son Husayn." Gabriel asked for God's permission to descend to earth and join these blessed individuals. God granted him permission. Gabriel, the angel of God, descended to earth and approached the prophet. He greeted him and said, "O prophet of God, God has said that the sky, the earth, the moon, the sun, the planets, the seas, and the ships were created out of his love for you, five. He has allowed me to join you. Will you also grant me permission to sit under the Yemeni cloak with you?" The prophet returned Gabriel's greeting and permitted him to join them. Gabriel then said, "God has decreed that you shall be kept away from impurity and remain eternally pure and purified." Then the commander of the faithful, Imam Ali, addressed the prophet saying, "O messenger of God, enlighten us about the significance of this event." The prophet replied, "O Ali, any follower and lover of ours who gathers in an assembly to recite this supplication will receive God's mercy, and the angels of God will seek forgiveness and send blessings upon them." Then Imam Ali said, "I swear by the Lord of the Kaaba that our followers and lovers have attained salvation." The prophet said again, "By the one who sent me as a prophet, any of our followers who gathers to recite this supplication, if anyone among them has a problem, it will be solved. If someone is sad, their sorrow will be lifted, and if someone has a need, God will fulfill it." Imam Ali then said, "By the Lord of the Kaaba, we and our followers have achieved success and happiness."